Hello, everyone, and welcome to Old World Tech Fridays. How's everyone doing this evening? I am joined by my co-host, Ryan, of Everything's Broken Garage. How are you, Ryan?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad. What was I going to say here? So I'm trying something out here. This little tiny window in the bottom here, I have it pointed at the PVM because I hooked up I opened it up and tried it out. It's a new unbox TI-99 4A. So my first time ever using one. So I was messing with that before the stream started. So Trina, who is normally with us, is probably sleeping.
I think so. He's probably asleep.
Yep, probably sleeping. The time change is affecting us all.
Yes, it affects us all differently, but Trina just sleeps more.
That's true. That's true. So who all do we have on the stream tonight? Eric's Edge was first, and then JC, and then MMU Man. Will, hello Will. Scarlet, the four-eyed Cuda. Ryan of Everything's Broken Garage. Garth Beagle, hello Garth. DJ Craze, hello. And I think that's everyone. I don't think I missed anybody. There was a few.
Gutbomb is here.
We posted a few
Hey,
times.
Gutbomb.
Gutbomb, hello. There it goes. It took a while for it to pop into StreamYard that Gutbomb posted, so it's a little.
Yeah,
wild.
I got it open in the pop-out chat window.
Gotcha. Yeah. So it just took a minute for it to. So, Micro Hobbyist, hello.
Oh, the microbiologist is here. Awesome.
Yeah, Sloopy's here.
Oh, Sloopy. Hey, Sloopy. All right, it's getting really condensated in here, so this joke's
just
over.
A flesh wound. Medieval prophylactics, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, they're having a watch party, so they're watching us on the Discord while they're watching. So
awesome. Cool. Hi, guys. Glad you could join us this evening. I'm joining from... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say I'm joining from the garage this evening. I seen it finally apropos to seeing that's my name. I should probably host from the garage. So here we are.
Cool. That is cool.
And Adam just joined us. Welcome, Adam.
Is that Kim Possible poster up there?
It is a Kim Possible poster.
Okay, I thought so. Hey, Adam.
Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable.
What about
and
Rufus?
Rufus is there, the Naked Mole Rat, and he's there.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. Yeah. For those of you who joined at the end there, I have this other camera over here is a TI-99 running a basic program. I got a TI-99 today that was new in box, and I plugged it in just to try it out to make sure everything works. And this is my first time ever using one. I had to laugh, and I was showing Ryan before the stream started as I unpacked everything. It has on the side of the box, there's a $50 rebate, offer good through January 31st, 1984. So I'm a little behind on the warranty card.
I mean, they might still honor it. I mean, TI's still around, so
yeah,
they got that sweet calculator money.
It has the a sticker on the front right here that says, if you have any questions about the TI-99/4A, please call Texas Instruments, and it gives their toll-free numbers. So that's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
We should totally call that number on the stream.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Why not? Hang on a second. Let's try this out. I remember we did that on the stream where Chris, Retrotech Chris, was doing that pool, that billiards game and stuff.
Right.
And we tried calling all those numbers, and couldn't get anybody. Let's see. 800 842
Evening, Martin.
737. Okay. I'm going to put on the speakerphone.
All right. I'm going to go poke the wood stove.
Thank you for calling the Texas Instruments TI Care
No way.
and Technology Support Line.
It's still their support number.
Are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Friday, 10
That's
a.m.
hilarious.
to 5 p.m. Central Time. For additional support for TI products and services, please visit our website at education.ti.com.
That's awesome.
Support to access our
I would bet it did not say anything about their website back in 1981.
No, that's amazing.
I can't believe
Yes.
it worked. Garth.
Garth says leave a message.
Call collector, use AT&T. Leave a message. That would be hilarious. I was like, yeah, I just opened up my TI-99/4A here, and I'm having a couple of questions about how to hook up this bag of this modulator to my television with these 2 wires coming out of the back. Now, do you just slip that straight into the HDMI port or what?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe it actually, the phone number
That's
actually
amazing.
worked. It's pretty awesome.
That's amazing.
So let's see here. This day
in tech history.
in tech history.
You can't see me breaking the environment, can you? No, perfect.
Oh, hang on a second. Brian, do you mind talking for 1 second? I got a phone call. 1 second.
Yes. Sorry, guys. I'm just a bit off screen here. I'm tending to the wood stove because it's winter here now in Newfoundland and it's quite cold out. How is everybody doing this fine evening? Are we all very excited about the weekend? In Canada, it's a long weekend. I don't know if it's a long weekend for our American friends. This is the time of the year we celebrate and remember our veterans and all those who served in any conflict or war. So, especially important to remember all those veterans that are still alive today and always could use our support. So thank you for your
Ryan,
service. Yep.
I got a phone call here, that was ringing in there.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and play it. Sorry, go ahead. Sir?
Hi. Yes, this is TI support. This is Agent Geek with Social Skills. You were calling about your warranty.
They are very fast at responsive service there.
Wow,
TI, I have to tell you.
I got to say, they're a lot better than Apple. Yeah, a lot better than Apple. But not as good as the Naboo support. They know you have a problem before it even happens.
But we would prefer if you used MCI and not AT&T for your long distance.
What about if you're in Canada?
Don't bother calling at all.
You gotta use your Commodore phone.
Well, you got to use your Commodore coupons.
Yeah, coupons.
Check the mail.
Yeah, you got to use your Commodore phone when calling.
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
And it starts with 999.
Martin Mack is wondering, where's your sidekick? I assume you mean Trina.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. We assume Trina's either asleep or has been taken by the Borg.
I would say probably both. They probably put her to sleep before the probulator.
Yeah. So we don't know. She might jump on later. We'll see now if she just magically appears.
Sometimes she does that. She runs behind just a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Happens.
First day of the
Anyway,
week
tech
is
history.
Yeah, so I was just scrolling down. Here we go. So the 5th.
Yep.
Actually, I'm going to back up and go to the 4th. So that was Saturday.
Okay.
So, because normally we skip Saturday altogether, because usually we go Sunday through Friday.
Right.
But November 4th, 1982, so a year after this TI came out, Compaq announced their compact portable PC, one of the early portable computer designs.
I have one of those.
More significantly, the first successful IBM compatible PC clone.
Well, you use compatible with air quotes. It was
it
was the best of the compatibles for sure, but there were still some issues.
I just thought that was neat. So starting with Sunday of this week, so November 5th, 2007, Google introduces the Android platform. It's mobile operating system for cell phones based on a modified version of the Linux operating system. The first Android based phone would ship in September of 2008.
And it was a HTC Envy, I want to say. No, HTC. It was some HTC product.
First Android phone. HTC Dream.
That's it.
It was the T-Mobile G1.
Here in
HTC
Canada.
Dream.
Here in Canada, it was on the TELUS network, and at the time, my business partner had got one. I had an iPhone, and he'd gotten the Android, and
cool.
it was pretty cool. It was really underpowered, but it was still a pretty cool. It actually had a chin, so like the bottom of the phone actually curved out slightly, and there was like a ball, almost like a certain
kind of like a trackball.
Yeah, we'll go with trackball. It's
or,
almost like a little
thing.
Yeah, a thing. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
yeah, Trina would know.
Yes, Trina would know.
So that's why we keep her on the show. She answers these things. She's
able to equate functionality with anatomy. That's why she's here.
That's right.
Anyway, they it was pretty cool. Did it have a keyboard? I don't think it did. I think the follow-up had a keyboard.
I don't remember.
Yeah, MMM is saying this is actually the later model he's remembering. Yeah, it was a little trackball. It was pretty cool. Actually, I think my buddy still has it.
I remember, what was it? The BlackBerry Pearl had the little trackball?
Similar type functionality. It was like just like a mouse. Then the screen was touchscreen, but you could use that mouse to do a lot more quick movements, we'll say, than trying to use cool. the capacitive touchscreen.
November 6, 1980, IBM signs a deal with the devil. IBM and Microsoft formally sign a contract whereby Microsoft will create an operating system for the in-development IBM PC. During the summer of 1980, IBM was originally interested in licensing the popular CP/M operating system, but inability to come to an agreement with Digital Research led IBM to ask Microsoft if they could develop an operating system similar to CP/M.
Yep.
And it was called QDOS.
And you know what
dirty operating system.
And you know what they did, right?
What's that?
They went to the developer and gave him $50,000 and bought it from him, and then presented it to IBM later. And what was it, $150 million contract?
Oh, I believe it. That doesn't sound at all surprising to me.
Pirates of Silicon Valley go very in depth into that particular business transaction.
That's pretty funny. Here we go. November 7th, 2000. After only 2 years in business, Pets.com shuts down operations. Cited as one of the biggest failures of the dot-com bubble, Pets.com was able to gain significant brand recognition through its extensive marketing campaign and sock puppet mascot, but lost money due to an unsustainable business plan. Ironically, the company's best-selling product was its sock puppet. And yes, I own one, it says, the guy who wrote the article.
That's amazing. That's like, remember the shop, was it, what was it called? It was the scanner that you could get that was shaped like a mouse.
Oh, Radio Shack did that.
Quick Cats?
The Quick Cat. Because you can scan the things in the catalog, the Radio Shack catalog with it.
I think a bunch of QCat. That's it. I think a lot of people, a lot of different businesses bought into it, but it was like, the whole idea was you could scan UPC codes, you could scan IBDI, International Book Standardized Numbers,
ISBN.
You can scan that kind of stuff to like add it to your card. I mean, it seems pretty. It was before its time, but now basically you can just use this to do the same thing with the Amazon app, right?
I remember getting the Radio Shack catalog, the giant one.
They
the big gave me a QCat when I got it at the local Radio Shack. And then, that was their whole thing. It's like, you can do quick ordering. You can go onto the site. You can plug this in, scan whatever you want in the catalog, and it adds it to your cart.
Yeah, you can go on the line and get the...
On the line, yes.
On the line.
Let's see. November 8th, 1895. German physics professor Wilhelm... I don't know how to say his last name. Stumbles upon what he would later describe as X-rays while experimenting with electrical discharge tubes. Curious as to what was causing a faint green glow on a nearby fluorescent screen, he began systematically studying the unknown rays and published his first paper on the phenomenon less than 2 months later. He refers to the rays as X, as they were an unknown form of radiation at the time.
Yeah. It's all for X.
Let's see. November 9th, 2004, the Mozilla Foundation releases version 1.0 of the Firefox web browser. Firefox is significant in internet history because it represented the first serious alternative to the dominance of Microsoft's Internet Explorer in several years. By many estimations, Internet Explorer had risen to over 90% of the browser market share since the downfall of Netscape many years earlier. It's an interesting.
I was still using Netscape in 2003.
Yeah, well, we did too because we had the what was it? The IMAX came out. The all-in-one color buds came out, and we had Netscape on those.
Yeah,
that was in 2003. The school got them as part of the gifted program.
Yeah, I mean, Netscape was like officially dead as a company, but I'm pretty sure it still existed in some form or another.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
what I think is funny how they released the source code before they changed over, before they closed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Microsoft introduces Windows November 10th, 1983.
Yeah,
Microsoft
actually, I've seen.
formally announces Windows, a graphical user interface for MS-DOS-based systems. Bill Gates promises that Windows will ship by April of 1984. However, it isn't However, in true Microsoft fashion, Windows 1.0 doesn't actually ship until November 1985. While Windows 1 and Windows 2 saw limited usage, it wasn't until Windows version 3 that Windows began to see widespread acceptance.
So I've made it my personal goal to get every box copy of Windows.
Yeah.
So I got most of the newer stuff. I have.
Yeah.
I got to go back now. I have a 95 and a Windows 3.1.
Yep.
Now I need to go farther back.
The last one, November 10th, 2001, the day that music was reborn. Apple ships the first iPod, the device that changed the course of both music and technology industries. Of course, at the time, most experts could only focus on the fact that other devices cost less and may have had more impressive technical specs. Sort of like they do today, I guess, when it comes to experts in Apple devices. They haven't learned their lesson yet.
So the owners of whoever put that list together is a bit cheeky, is what you're saying.
Yeah, a bit, yes. And that's this day in tech history.
So the big thing about the iPod that made it, in my mind, so popular and so is it had the branding, it had the power, but I mean, you could get a cheaper Rio or a cheaper, just generic MP3 player. But I think how they actually made it so easy to load. Oh, a baby. Made it so easy to load a CD to it. That's really the software was the secret sauce of the iPod and the ecosystem. Hello, little one.
He has 2 teeth now already.
Ah.
Yeah, 2 bottom teeth.
Poor mom. God love her.
Say hi.
I don't think he's that far. Is he that far along yet?
He doesn't actually say words, but he'll yell at you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
He makes noises and yells.
Well, listen.
What are you looking at? Huh? Hi.
He's like, so you're my father. I'm going to have to put you in a home someday. Mm-hmm. You better be nice to me now, or I'll put you in the crooked home. Cute. Hi, Jess. Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess. Bye, Jess.
Hi.
Said I. They just got back.
How fun. Do you want to tell everybody your big plan now for your retro?
Yes. Yes, so I've got the Amish working on it already, so hopefully maybe we'll have some lumber by the end of next week.
If there's people who know about retro tech,
that's true. Amish. Now, what's funny is, they may be a little more advanced than people give them credit for because when that emergency alert test system went off, a lot of Amish people got shunned. All the cell phones going off because of the emergency alert test that we had recently.
Yeah.
That let the cat out of the bag on a lot of people. But they have a newsletter, kind of like a Craigslist of the Amish, called the Busy Beaver.
Okay.
Where all these Amish people post like their buggies for sale, or goods for sale or trade or whatever.
Now, is it done on the internet or is it done through paper?
No, it's done through paper. Like, you're on a mailing
Okay.
list. They mail you like this catalog.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
Periodically of like a newsletter.
A periodical, periodically.
Periodically. Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
So I remember him telling me about his sawmill he ended up getting from the Busy Beaver. They got to go like 4 hours away to get the thing,
Right.
and had it hauled and whatnot. But anyway, so I'm going to do a 14 by 20 foot tech shed, I guess, so to speak,
Nice.
because it's going to be a while before the basement's done and ready to go. So at least I can get out of the hallway and get all my stuff into one spot and actually leave.
So I will tell you,
up.
my garage that I'm in right now is 14 and a half by, 15 by 30.
Oh, okay, awesome. And you've got a vehicle in there. That's awesome.
I can comfortably fit 2 vehicles in here if there was no other garbage in here.
Sure.
So
that's awesome.
And I've done that. Yeah. So
you figure most garages are about 20 foot wide, because you figure each garage bay is 8 foot door usually.
Yeah. So you need about
16, 20.
You need 2 feet on each side, give or take. So, or on each side of the door, we'll say, give or take. But yeah, so you'll be fine. And I'm assuming you're not putting a garage door on it. You're just going to put a man door.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a man door, a couple windows, and I'm going to put heat and air conditioning out there.
Yeah. May I make a suggestion as well? Do floor your attic and use it for storage.
Oh, I plan on it. Yeah, absolutely. No, because that's what I'm going to put some of the stuff that's not really temperature sensitive.
Yeah,
wires.
I really want
like that.
I really want to do it for here for storing car parts.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to get one of the pull in the house. We have a pull down attic hatch.
Oh yeah,
I want one for in here too, so that I can actually.
That's a great idea.
I can't stand up there. It's only about 4 feet above me, but it's enough to like crouch in and like shove car parts and bins and stuff in. Right.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If I had tote boxes with like extra wiring, cards, cables, things like that, I can shove those overhead. It's not going to matter temperature wise.
Exactly. I mean, even PCBs are not terrible. Like the big thing you'd worry about is, I guess, condensation for corrosion purposes. But if you put a bunch of silica in it and desiccant packages,
but that I bought a bigger dehumidifier, so I plan on running that out there anyway.
Right. So you'll be fine.
So I think Plus, I'm going to heat it and air condition it. So it's not. Yeah, it'll be temperature.
I was thinking more in the attic, but yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Now, that being said, if you're putting mini splits out there, they also dehumidify, so you don't really need to worry about it.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
so that's what I was thinking, something like a mini split.
Just put a single head. Yeah, just put a single head unit in. Probably, I don't know, 16,000 BTU.
Yeah.
Right, for a space that big.
Yeah. But it's going to be nice because I can set stuff up and just leave it.
Yeah,
and everything stays set up.
And I would also suggest you do like a perimeter table all the way around the room. Do like a full perimeter.
Yeah. That way I can leave projects set up.
Well, what I was thinking, then you could in the middle, this is going to go from my vision. If I was to do the same thing, I would have my tables along the outside, and in the middle, I would have rows of shelving. So when I'm doing my streams, I'll always have something in the background because I can move my computer to wherever I'm working.
Sure.
And then you just in the background, you would have your shelves with random shit on it, right?
Yep, that's not bad.
Anyway, we're slowly losing people here. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about the storage, but so hopefully I'll have a better setup and won't be cramped in the hallway and stuff up here next to the shipping station.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you got going on this week as far as topics?
This week I've been starting to prepare. We have another tech show coming up on November. When is it? It is the 24th, 5th, and 6th. So there's a science fiction convention in town. So basically, I'll be getting prepared. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments here. I don't quite understand what MMU man is asking, but okay. Show us your arms. Arms. Or do you mean like arms? Do I have to go in the house and get? Sorry. Yeah, so we're just getting ready for that. I'm also going to be doing a large gut and purge for that event. So I'm actually bringing a pile of equipment to give away. So anybody who is in the local area, if you want a free pile of crap, I'm going to have a free pile of crap there. So,
Nice.
Yeah. So what's tapping? Is that you?
Yeah, sorry, that was me. I didn't realize I was tapping on the microphone
like,
frame. Yep, that's
going on.
It's the squirrels in your attic.
Yeah.
You'll have to kick them out before you can use the storage.
MMU man says you can just show your arms like actually Retro used to do.
Yes, yes.
Before Sean would like to show his face on the internet.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Geek with Social Skills does the same thing. He doesn't.
Oh, he's just a pair of arms. He's not a real person.
That's right.
Pretty sure he's
like
just a set of arms.
Thing, but like Thing on steroids because you get the whole arm. Two of them.
Yeah, two of them. Yeah,
that's right.
So yeah, that's what I've been getting ready for. I got a few computers that we're going to be showing off. We're going to be showing off the Corona, as well as we're planning on doing another Windows XP LAN. So we'll be playing some fantastic Unreal Tournament 2004 because that's how we roll. I'm also might bring out. I haven't brought it out in a while. My Windows XP Ultimate Windows XP machine from 2005.
Awesome.
So that's a machine I built a couple of years ago. That was basically at the time RetroTech hadn't really exploded, so I could still get parts. But basically, I bought in 2005. I had a dream machine in my mind, but I didn't have the money for it in my wallet. So in 2020, I built that machine because now the parts that I needed to build that machine were stupid cheap. So it's like, what is it? It's actually probably like a 2006. So it's an dual SLI'd 8800 GTS or GTX, sorry, 1 gig cards. So there's two of those. It's a Tyan motherboard, SLI motherboard with a quad core AMD processor from around 2005, 2006. I don't even remember what it is. I think it's I don't even remember what the model number it is of the processor. It's got 4 gigs of RAM. It's running Windows XP. It's got I put an SSD in it. Obviously, it's in a beige case, so it looks like just a generic PC build from like 2004. And it trollops everything. It plays everything. It even plays Crysis, which was the standard of questions in 2007. Can it play Crysis? It can. So anyway, that's yeah. So I'm gonna probably haul that out. I might also bring a couple of Apple computers just because they seem to be crowd favorites. Yeah. I've come to realize that LCs are like tribbles.
Oh yeah.
So LCs I started with one LC and now I have 7. And every week I seem to find more of them, and they're just people are like, here, have an LC.
Yeah.
So I've actually I have enough now, and I have about 7 monitors. So I have enough now to actually have a computer lab of LCs. So I'm thinking about doing up a lab of like old Macintoshes, like you would see from the early 90s.
That's awesome.
Garth says 7. That's rookie numbers. Yeah, but Garth, see, we're poor. We're essentially a third world country here. So the fact that anybody bought Apple computers in 1990 is impressive. So the fact that I found 7 of them still around is even more impressive. But yeah, so I might do like an old style computer lab and maybe do some early network gaming if that's possible. Probably not, but at least have some.
You can do an Apple Talk network and share some files.
Well, exactly right. And then the other thing that we wanted to set up was we talked about setting up like a publishing machine, so like a desktop publishing computer from like the mid 90s. So running like Paint Shop Pro and Print Shop. And have a dot matrix color printer so people can print off like hilarious clip art, like cool crab type stuff there. So we might do something like that where, we're throwing some ideas around. There's like I said, there's 6 or 8 of us who are pretty active in the group. We have about 400 members, but 6 or 8 of us are pretty heavily active. So we ended up, bringing a pretty good collection to any event that we do. But yeah, so that's what I have coming up in a couple of weeks. As for discussion topics, I had a couple. Well, first off, I meant to say early on that we're all thinking about Steve Wozniak and that we hope he has a speedy recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those who don't know, Steve had what appears to be a stroke in Mexico City, and he's still in the hospital as far as I'm aware. So Speedy recovery to Mr. Wozniak. I don't think it's his
Absolutely.
time. I think he, should get a few more years. It'd be a sad day once all the Steves are gone.
That's right.
Especially in the Apple community. So we wish him a speedy recovery. And, and if you, don't believe in a higher power or believe in prayer, pull out your Apple II sometime the weekend and play a game or play something for Steve. Use a floppy disk drive because he invented that. Well, not the floppy drive, but he invented the floppy drive for the Apple II. I wish him a speedy recovery and hope to see him again on hilarious reality TV shows because he's a riot. He's a riot on those. Anyway, the second thing I want to talk about is it was just sort of a conversation piece. I had asked you earlier today, and I had asked Trina to kind of think of some of your favorite tech-related movies. And this kind of all spurred anybody in the Discord probably saw I posted. There's a new movie coming out with Jason Statham where he plays a secret spy-type character who happens to have a friend who gets defrauded by a phishing scam. And anyway, she, through the jigs and the reels, she ends up killing herself. I'm assuming she loses her family fortune or something. And she ends up killing herself. So Jason Statham goes on a rampage to find the phishing people and destroy this underground secret phishing association of hackers and whatnot. It's a brainless movie. I think Hollywood can make a story about anything these days. Looks really good. Looks really action packed, for a Statham movie. So I just got to think of what are some of the best tech movies that you guys kind of remember, and what are some of the worst? So
1995 Hackers.
Definitely, Hackers is definitely up there.
Yeah.
I would even say The Net.
Weird Science was good too.
The Net with Sandra Bullock.
Yes.
Sandra Bullock, yeah. That I thought that was pretty good. One that was terrible, Swordfish.
Oh my god.
That was the worst. I'm pretty sure I walked out of that movie. It was terrible. Although there's a couple of scenes that are quite all right. Their hacking is just terrible. It's just complete. It's John Travolta, so it's campy as all hell. War Games, yeah, that's another great one. That was definitely one that I watched later in life that I didn't really know about until I got a bit older. But had I been in the 80s and seen that when it came out, I think that would have totally spurred me into a computer science backed employment of some form or another, right? Antitrust. Yeah, that's a pretty good tech movie. I have seen that. That's quite good. It's been a while, actually. I feel like that was 2008, 2007, 2008. That's the one. Or am I thinking Eagle Eye, the one with Shia LaBeouf, where or is it Source Code? Antitrust movie. Let me see. I'm just having a look here. 2001. Oh yes, yeah, I do remember this now. Yeah. Tim Robbins is in it. Yeah, cool. I have to add that to my things to watch again. Cool. Mr. Robot is fantastic. Much newer though. Yeah, as a TV show for sure. It's great. It doesn't have to be movies either. It can be TV as well. I thoroughly enjoyed Pirates of Silicon Valley, the sort of docu-drama, I guess, from 1999. I love showing it to my students because it's just as Apple is getting sort of bailed out by Microsoft. So the movie kind of ends on sort of the 1984. You have Bill Gates on the screen and Steve on the stage. That's sort of where the movie ends, and it's sort of like book ends. It's kind of like, is this the end of Apple? ? And it's kind of funny that 25 years later, we all know that Apple is now the largest and most valuable company, or one of the most largest and most valuable companies in the world. So it's just kind of funny. Yeah, Silicon Valley is hilarious. Also, we can't forget Office Space. I think Office Space is also one of my, just specifically for being in tech and using quotes from it. I often enjoy the fill out your TPS reports, or a PC load letter. Anytime we had a printer jam at my work, that would be one of my things I'd say. It's a PC load letter. What the hell does that mean? So, you know, and oftentimes as it being in IT, I'm sure as a lot of you can appreciate, you know, the frustration that we all have with printers. They are the bane of our existence. So the idea of taking one out to a field and beat the crap out of it while listening to some very good gangster rap would be not terrible. MMU Man says the IT Crowd, of course, fantastic show. But yeah, so I was just thinking, are there any standouts, and then are there any terrible ones? Like I said, Swordfish, which is, yes, in my mind, one of the most terrible hacking movies. You know, I'm sure it's kind of like a meteorologist watching The Day After Tomorrow. I'm sure they're just watching it going, oh my God, this is terrible, right? Or any scientist watching any movie where there's science happening. You know, it can be painful to watch. I also find that, unrelated now, since I've gotten into renting film and TV, my collection of retro tech, I find that I get very distracted by inaccuracies in movies, especially when it comes around like cars and technology. You know, the worst one recently would have been the what was the name of that? It was a Netflix movie. And anyway, they talked about how they had to like decode something from a 386, and they showed a picture of like an ATX case, like a standard like 2004 era, 2000 to 2005 era ATX case painted like beige. That distracted me, and they were like poking at the CPU in it and trying not to get it to overheat, and it was just it was terrible. I couldn't watch it. It ruined the rest of the movie for me. But yeah, out there in the crowd, what are some of yours? See, Garth says The Matrix, WizKids, Tron, Weird Science. So yeah, there's lots of stuff out there, and then some of the other ones that I find are kind of bad. It's more for car inaccuracies, actually, why I don't like that particular film. But yeah, so I find I get distracted. I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Frank, but lately I find myself distracted by inaccuracies in movies when it comes to like technology.
Paying more attention than before, that's for sure.
Yeah, and like the one thing that kills me the most is when something's clearly not plugged in.
Yes,
that drives me
Me
mental.
too.
Like
you look at the phone; they're on the phone. There's not even any cords going to it, like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park did not run on Linux. Jurassic Park ran on Unix. Jesus Christ. Because his name is GCC. Yeah. Sean, was it Sean? No, who had the video recently about the collectability of the computers from Jurassic Park? Somebody did. Was it Colin? Colin of This Does Not Compute. You know, and it's kind of neat how those...
give me 1 second. The SPCA is calling about getting one of the cats spayed next week. So hang on 1 second. Sorry.
It's okay. No, you said Unix, or you said Linux. My thumb's transcoded it differently. Okay, fair enough. I'll allow it. One of the really nice things about The Matrix actually is the hacking scene at the beginning of the first, I think it's the first movie, is a buffer overflow hack. Like it's actual, like legit, like what Trinity's typing in. Like that's an actual, or I suppose she's not actually typing it in, but what's being shown on the screen is some form of buffer overflow, if I remember correctly. Like it's actually legit. They went and did very good research and did like a proper, hack. It wasn't just a bunch of jamming on the keyboard. It's like, oh, we're in. Like it was actually a proper known exploit, we'll say. So I thought that was kind of cool. Again, going back to film, I find either they spend a lot of time on, continuity and making sure things are correct, or they just basically go, nobody other than, 4% of the people are going to notice this is wrong. So we'll just go ahead and do it. Right. And I'm unfortunately, I think when it comes to cars and when it comes to tech, that's one thing that I just get completely bothered with. So yeah. Anyway, again, we we just didn't really have a lot to talk about today. It was sort of going to be a light show, and Trina's not here, so that made it a little bit easier. The Wizard with David report. That was The Wizard. I don't think I've seen The Wizard. Is it a live action or is it a cartoon? The Wizard. It sounds oddly familiar, but I could be mistaking it for The Page Master, which is the Macaulay Culkin movie. The Wizard. That's a movie. Fred Savage in it. Okay, cool. Oh, yes. I remember this film. That was a good one. Yeah. And yes, that's right. They showed Super Mario 3 before it was released. I remember that. Yeah. I don't remember it because I was like 3 at the time, but I remember the lore around it. Like, oh, they showed it before it was actually out. The other one that just popped in my mind is is it 8-Bit Christmas? It was pretty cute. That came out a couple of years ago. That was like a kind of neat sort of homage to 8-bit gaming consoles, specifically the Nintendo. And their quest to get a Nintendo, which was kind of a neat thing in the 80s. I feel like there's another. I'm trying to think now. There was another movie that came to my mind that wasn't 8-bit, but it was set in the 80s, and it was. Well, there's obviously Johnny 5. That was a good, or Short Circuit, I should say. That was a good movie. Brainstorm, yeah, that was good. What's the one with Keanu Reeves? It's not The Matrix. It's the other one where he from the 80s, or early 90s, where he like has a jack in, almost like The Matrix, I guess. What the hell was that called? It was like a cyberpunk type movie. What the heck was that called? That was really good too, or at least enjoyable. Keanu Reeves cyberpunk movie. Johnny Mnemonic. Thank you. Yes, that is it, from 1995. Yeah, that was a fun one. Probably not out to lunch with what's going on in the world these days. Like the idea that someone could have data stored in their brain, and if you put too much in there, it could possibly cause it to explode. Yeah, Johnny Pneumatic. Yeah, he was air powered. It was a bit different than Johnny Hydraulic. He was oil powered. But yeah, no, it was a good movie. Yeah, so I don't know if there's anything else anybody thought about when it comes to movies, but yeah, I just thinking, Hollywood usually either does a really good job of technology in movies or does a real shit job, and unfortunately these days it seems that they don't care too much about being accurate or being at least somewhat faithful to the canon, we'll say, of technology. I think we're going to start seeing the nostalgia for the 90s start to kind of creep up and be more and more. I think the nostalgia for the 80s is super hot right now and will be for probably another decade. But I think the 90s is going to start feeling kind of what the 80s was 10 years ago. Funnily enough, that makes total sense. So I'll be interested to see what they do when it comes to early internet, that kind of stuff. You see kind of with Young Sheldon being set in the early 90s. The early ages of dial-up, the early ages of high speed, cell phones. That was the other thing. A lot of movies just kind of gloss over cell phones. I've seen a few recently where it's like, oh, it's set in the past, so they just give them generic flip phones. It's like, well, no. In the 1990, the flip phone was it was a chocolate bar, a big brick thing, right? So. Lawnmower Man, wasn't it a state-of-the-art CGI movie? Lawnmower Man was an interesting movie for a lot of reasons. It's a good horror movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was kind of like, what's the one where the guy's invisible? Is it Dark Man? Dark Man with Bruce Campbell. Just an interesting movie. There's also that one with a very young Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland, is it? Dark City or I think it's Dark City. Dark City, where it's kind of like a noir. Yeah, Dark City. That was kind of cool. It was kind of like a little bit noir, a little bit of punkish feel to it. Came out in '98. That was pretty good. The Andromeda Strain, yeah, that is quite one of my favorite sort of '70s, apocalyptic, I guess, or post-apocalyptic, depending on the timeline of the movie. Films. It's pretty good. Halt and Catch Fire. K-Mac Vintage. You're thinking of Halt and Catch Fire, a fantastic TV show. For anybody who hasn't seen it, I highly recommend you go see it. They are probably the and I don't want to open myself to some shaming here, but I think that series probably did the best job of trying to keep everything as accurate as possible, because they knew a pile of nerds were going to watch it. So, yeah, they did a pretty good job. I'm not sure what it's called in English, but Bugs. It was so hilarious. Oh, I thought you were for sure. You said Bugs. I was thinking Starship Troopers, a fantastic film. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend. The follow up movies are not great, but the first one is just so 90s and so terrible and so great at the same time. Like, if you ever wanted to see Neil Patrick Harris as a psychic fascist Nazi, then this is the film for you. It's quite good. And they got a lot of cool tech in it too. Like, it's set sort of in the not too distant future. A series from 1995. Is it a Canadian series, like Reboot, the one about computers? But I think that was from earlier. I feel like that was 1990. Reboot TV. That's actually a fun show. That's from 94 to 2001. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it went so long. Anyway, that's a great cartoon too. If you American haven't seen it, it's sort of what was happening in Vancouver in the mid 90s, and apparently to the late or early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. The whole idea was you had these digital characters that live inside the computer, and every time you played a game, it would sort of destroy their society by dropping these giant cubes down that the game would take place in. And if these digital characters died in the game, they would die in their virtual life, I guess. So they would turn into these weird little slug things. And there were viruses. There was Hack and Slash were viruses. And then there was Hexadecimal. She was like a drama queen sort of virus. And I think I'm missing. There was another villain. So there was 2 or 3 villains, and the whole series was these 3 main characters: a kid, an adult female, and an adult male, sort of living their lives inside the computer, and then fighting these games, but also then fighting off the Hack and Slash. And what was the main villain's name? I could see him. He's purple. Now I'm gonna have to go look it up. Hold on. I know everybody has abandoned me. It's fine. It's all good. I'm on my own. There's Bob and Fong, Dot Matrix, Enzo Matrix, Frisket, the dog, Megabyte. That was his name. Megabyte. Now there's Megabyte, Hexadecimal. I missed. Megabyte, Hexadecimal, Mouse, Hack and Slash, and Mike the TV. And Megabyte became Gigabyte at some point. He must have changed his name. But he is a command and conquer and infectious computer virus. and the show's main antagonist. Megabyte is an order virus. He came from the virus known as Kilobyte. When he merged with his sister Hexadecimal, they formed an even more powerful virus called Gigabyte. Megabyte commands his own army of binomes and is quite strong and capable of separating his top half from his lower half whenever he seems to. Yeah, I got it. I have it there on DVD. I haven't watched it in years, but hey, Curtis, it's okay. We're having a pretty chill night here tonight. Frank has gone to talk about taking the nuts off some cat. He's doing a spay or something. I don't know, or a neuter. And Trina fell asleep, so it's just me hanging out in the garage. Trying not to freeze. I've let the wood stove go out, which is like a cardinal sin here. So I should probably go poke at that in a minute because I don't know if you can see my breath still. But it's pretty cold out here. The only thing keeping me warm is this lovely Cuban cigar. But this is also gone out, so this is also a fallacy. So I should probably stand up and... actually, as you get closer to this side, it gets warmer, so I don't think the fire is actually out. Oh, no, it's still burning. I'll talk to you off camera for a bit, guys. Oh, crap. I just dropped my wood stove cover into my wood stove because it's cracked in half. Quality cast iron. Oh, and we got it out. Perfect. Probably don't want to touch that. That's probably pretty hot. Let me give the coals a little flick here. Ooh, it's warm. I'll load a couple more pieces of wood on fire. Oh, for anybody wondering, I'm burning some lovely, I think this is black spruce. And I had some snotty var as well, but the snotty var is not a great wood for burning. It burns quickly, but it does have build up a lot of creosote. So, but I have to say, I cleaned my chimneys this year. For the first time in a couple of years, I've been kind of delinquent on it, which is not a good thing. You should never be delinquent on cleaning out your chimneys. But I'm happy to report that they were actually very clean. Surprisingly clean. Maybe a single coffee can of material out of both chimneys, which is pretty good. I wasn't burning. Well, I don't have to burn a lot of green wood, but I did burn a fair bit of last winter. But I was adding a lot of pallets to it at the same time. So,
have you talked about the live action robot chicken?
No, and I also haven't talked about the new live action Zelda.
Yeah. So Eric had suggested about the live action Zelda as a topic, which is great because I had heard brief mention of it, but I didn't hear anything like definite or in depth. But CNN actually put out an article on it, 2-3 days ago, and had said yes, the popular video game Legend of Zelda is coming to life in a new live action movie. And let's see, I've been working on a live action film for The Legend of Zelda for many years now. Famed Nintendo video game designer wrote on the gaming company's Twitter page on Tuesday.
Nice.
So they're working with Nintendo on developing the live action movie. But the $1 million question is, what do you think Link's going to sound like? Because he's never had any spoken parts. Because like even on the Switch game and stuff, The Legend of Zelda, the princess has lines and tons of other people have lines, but Link never has any lines that are spoken.
So here's my hot take on it. Because he's never spoken, we have no pre-existing, notions, we'll say. So that means that we have no pre-existing notions, which means there is a universe somewhere, and if you believe in the multi-universe setup, multiverse, which we know Nintendo believes in because they're clearly have Marvel games.
Sure.
Then it is my belief that Link sounds like James Earl Jones.
I was thinking either that or Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
He could sound like Gilbert Godfrey for all we know.
I mean, that would be brilliant.
Owen Wilson. There you go.
Almost. Yeah. I mean, if they do Chris Pratt as Mario, Owen Wilson as Link is not a far. It's not a far stretch.
I just, how would a live action work considering that every video game has we have this preconceived notion of obviously what a video game is and how all the Zelda games work. What would the movie be about? Would it be similar to the new Mario movie where they actually do things? I mean, it's not a live action, but still,
No, but
it actually had a plot and they did things.
yeah. I mean, it's possible. It could also just be a retelling of the first game. They might just be like,
That's true.
or shot for shot canon first game.
That would be interesting.
Eric
That would
says
be
likely
extremely
it's going to be shit. I would tend to
Yeah.
agree, Eric.
I was gonna say I'd be one of them things where I would set my expectations low, and if you're pleasantly surprised, then hey, it's the
good.
best possible outcome.
But you and I both know that it doesn't matter if it's a steaming pile of dog crap. They're going to make an absolute fortune out of it.
Oh yeah,
right? Like,
it's Nintendo.
It's going to pay for its existence, right?
Nintendo the Apple of video games.
Correct.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, speaking of Switch, the new Steam Deck has an OLED screen.
Oh yeah.
Yep. They finally
copying the Switch with the OLED screen.
Not even copying the Switch. Well, copying the Switch because the OLED screen is sourced from the same place that the Switch sources, so it is exactly the same screen.
Jim Carrey's link. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
But he can't because he's but it would confuse children because he's also Professor. He's the villain in Sonic.
Well, what's funny though is Jim Carrey was their first choice for Buddy the Elf.
Right.
But they went with Will Ferrell. Right. So who knows? That could be interesting. It could be like a Lemony Snicket's type.
Yeah, it could be.
Jim Carrey as Link. Instead of the
like I mean I know they're gonna pick some like up and coming actor.
Neil Patrick Harris, that's who it's gonna be.
No, it's gonna be somebody because it's live action. It's gonna be some kid who No, it's going to be child appropriate.
I don't know who it would be.
It's going to be some
think of any actor recent that I would.
It's going to be like it's going to be Tom Holland, or it's going to be
Yeah, that could be.
Right, like it's going to be some big new or currently new actor.
Now, they did say that Hunter Schafer, who is on who is that? Euphoria.
Yep.
He said that she'd like to play Zelda.
Interesting. I mean, I can see that.
There's a lot of pictures of her with a similar, look and blondish hair and whatnot. Yeah. So, kind of like cosplay, where she actually might. That would be actually probably a good choice.
I mean, there's lots of possibilities there. I mean, it's not. There's lots of possibilities. So we'll put it there at that.
They could CGI young Carrie Fisher.
They could. I also see that. I looked at the new Last of the Airbender live action shots that just leaked.
Yeah.
That also looks like it has potential.
That's true.
Right. So, I mean, it's not impossible for them to do proper geek movies with good canon, with good story.
Yeah,
it's Hollywood, but it's Hollywood's prerogative to do it as cheaply as possible and make as much money as possible. So, will they do it properly? I feel like Nintendo is a bit gun shy these days. Like the first Nintendo Super Mario Brothers, we all remember the one with Bob. What's his name? Bob.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Hodgkins. That was a total abomination of a movie. Like that was a movie that should have been called something else. That would have probably been perfectly fine as New York plumbers versus space alligators. Would have been perfectly fine. However, it was a terrible movie because it was sold as Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
It was John Leguizamo, wasn't it? And Bob Hoskins.
I think
Mario and Luigi. Yeah, I think that was who it was. Anyway,
it has a lot of potential. It could be anything at this point.
Right.
Once we see the cast, obviously we can make a better assumption.
Sure.
Of what we think could happen, but as of right now, I mean, it's a ball of wax. It could be literally anything at this point.
Yeah.
It's I mean, Nintendo.
It's both good and bad. I mean, I look at the Marvel movies, like for the most part, those have been pretty good. Are they perfectly canon? No, of course not. But that's the beauty of the Marvel universe is that there are multiverses, so it can
kind of,
It can
ebb
be
and
whatever.
flow between. Yeah, it can ebb and flow between the canon and be fine. I think with something as beloved, it'd be like doing a Final Fantasy movie. As something as beloved as, which I think they did, which I believe was, if I remember correctly, was terrible, wasn't it? Wasn't there a Final Fantasy movie?
They did. The newer Mortal Kombat wasn't as good as the old ones were.
Yeah, there's a Final Fantasy Spirit Within. Yeah, that was a 2001 movie. Yeah. I mean, I think they realize nostalgia is what sells, right? Like, and I was just saying that while you're off, I think we're going to see a real increase in the 90s nostalgia now coming up.
Yeah.
Because 80s is red hot right now. The 80s will remain red hot for probably 10 more years. And then we're going to start seeing, on a stand-up, we're going to start seeing more 90s nostalgia start becoming more and more popular. So I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be kind of fun. But because that's my childhood. And I'm your childhood as well. So, it'd be interesting to see if they stick to the ideas of, people remember the story being X, Y, and Z. So let's try to keep it as close to X, Y, and Z as possible. And maybe they will. I mean,
they can't have Kathleen Kennedy anywhere near it then.
No. But a hot take, I've only ever played one Zelda game. Ever.
Which one?
The Masks. Is it Masks? The Game Gear.
Majora's Mask?
Yeah, that was on the game, the purple
like
thing.
Game Boy?
No, not Game Boy. Oh my god, the early 2000s console before the Wii. Why am I not remembering the name? GameCube. It was on GameCube.
Nintendo GameCube.
Yeah, whatever Zelda game was on GameCube, I played at my buddy's house.
Ocarina of Time.
That's it, Ocarina of Time. That's the one.
Yeah.
I remember being very fun, and we had a lot of fun doing it. Right? It's like Final Fantasy. I've only ever played Final Fantasy VII. That's the only Final Fantasy I've ever played. I'm told that that's like sacrilege among.
I tried to do the online one, and it was way too difficult to figure out coming from World of Warcraft. There's just a lot of stuff going on. Not very intuitive.
Usually around Christmas time, I'll throw a bit of money at a gaming computer, or I have in the past. I haven't really done it recently in the last few years, but I have in the past. Wow, this smoke from my cigar is making a real trippy effect. Okay, that was done. I kind of want to play Baldur's Gate 3. Because I remember I played a lot of Baldur's Gate 1, and I didn't play much of 2, but I played a lot of 1, and I have good memories of it, but at the same time, I played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I'm kind of tired of the, whatever it's called, not real-time strategy. What's turn-based?
MMORPG.
RPG, yeah. I'm tired of RPG, so I
need to go back to some RTS.
Even real-time strategy. Like, I tried playing some StarCraft 3 or 2 or whatever the latest StarCraft is. It came out, 10 years ago? Whatever that one is.
Didn't like it?
I couldn't get, I got into it. I got a couple of runs done. It was fine, but it was like, I didn't have the same feeling that I had playing the original or playing, like Warcraft 3 is probably my favorite. Right? And even Tides of Darkness.
Yeah, we used to play StarCraft on LAN or BattleNet, friends in school and stuff. So that was more enjoyable than the solo playing.
Yeah.
Because we would make up custom maps and stuff back when you can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I think actually for me, a lot of the gaming that I used to do was the camaraderie was the more fun part than the actual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the game was the focal point, but it was the camaraderie and hanging out with friends and, you're eating cheese pizza at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Hopped up on Mountain Dew and, pixie sticks.
Like all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Right. It was regular Mountain Dew before they had in this code red bullshit.
I like the red and the orange. Livewire, I think the orange one is.
I don't know.
Not bad. But yeah, LAN parties were the shit back then.
They were.
There really isn't. I mean, now that everything's online, I mean, people really don't LAN party because you can sit at your own house and hop on.
But see, we make a point of trying to like when we have these events, we'll actually bring like Unreal Tournament.
Yes,
is meant to be played.
Yep.
With a pile of people in a room together on like an old 10100 Switch.
Yep.
you know.
Absolutely. Oh, geez, we're over time.
We are over
I
time.
didn't even realize.
That's okay. So I guess if you guys want to revert back to the Discord, we can have a chat there for a little bit.
Yep, the Discordia. There's, what,
But
7 people
thanks.
already on.
Yeah. So thanks for spending time with us this evening. Sorry that it was a little bit of a, hodgepodge and lackluster episode.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I
more of a chat.
had a couple things pop up, so I apologize. But yeah, join us next week, next Friday, or in a few minutes.
I like Eric's comment. It's pretty good.
Yes. God, you remember lugging them everywhere.
Anything is a portable if you put a handle on it.
Well, I remember when we used to do LAN parties, you had to take your damn monitor and everything with you.
Oh yeah,
You lugged all your shit.
I don't know about you, but like the early LCDs were way too pricey for me to buy.
Yeah.
So I had a really nice 17-inch Samsung CRT. It was a beautiful monitor, but it weighed probably twice what my computer did.
Oh yeah, easily.
You're lugging that to the like I gotta go get my monitor, and you come in with your monitor, and they're like I gotta go back and get my computer, and you go back. I gotta go get my book bag with all my
four trips out.
Yeah. And then if you were staying the night, if it was like a sleepover LAN party, like I gotta go get my bag of clothes,
bag, clothes, and everything. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, but yeah, thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate it. Hop on Discord. You can hop on the video on Discord. And it has more than 10 people, so it's considerably easier than hopping on here.
Although I will end the day. I will end the day saying that I have figured out how to have more than 10 people and up to 128 people on a single live stream. So
that is pretty awesome. We're gonna have to try that out.
Indeed, we will.
So yes, until next week. Appreciate it. Thank you, everyone.
Have a fantastic, guys.
Great evening.
Take care.